So let's say again I have that numbers array. And I am using numbers. So let's say I want to again add those one element to one digit for each of the individual elements. So this is the code. Let me take this. So instead of for each, now I am using map. So what is the difference? So map method will always returns a new array. So for each method does not return anything, even you manually return that. The map method always returns the array of exact same length. So what I'm doing, map method, it works on the original array. So because we are using numbers.map, and it returns a new array of exact same length. So what it does is here we don't need now updated. So if it was using for each, you need this updated array because this for each method does not return anything. But with map, you don't need this updated array now. So what you can do is you can just return number plus 1. And if I print result here, this is numbers. You see, numbers is the original array and result is with one digit added to individual element. So what we are doing, so this map method, it's exact same as for each. It gets the number, it also has index, it also has array. So all these methods are having same parameters. So they get the same values. So you can see it is the exact same thing, but the map method, using map method, you can return any array. So map method just takes loops through individual element and returns a new transformed array. So if you don't want to return, add anything, you can return that value as it is. So let me remove this. So during each iteration, whatever you are returning, that will be the actual value of new array element. So this map method will return a new array. So the first element of that array will be whatever you are returning in the first iteration. During second iteration, it will have 20 as the number value. And what you are returning 20 as it is. During third iteration, you will have 30 value and you are returning 30 as it is. So the final array that you are getting will be exactly same as the original array because you are not modifying anything. So you can see both of these are exact same. There is no modification because you have not changed anything. So you need to return something. So this map method is designed to return something. You get exact same array. Length of the array will be exact same. So if I don't return anything, it will be undefined because if you are not returning anything in a function, undefined is returned. So by default, you are not returning anything. So map method will have all the elements as undefined. You can see everything is undefined because whatever during each iteration, whatever you are returning will be put in individual element of that array. So during first iteration, what you are returning. So let's say I am returning number plus 10. So during first iteration, you have 10 as the number value. Then you are adding 10 plus 10, it will become 20. So in the new array that map returns, you will have 20 as the first value. Here you can see 20 is the first value. So during second iteration, you have 20 as the number value. So you are adding 20 plus 1, it will become 30. 20 plus 10, 30. During third iteration, you have 30 as the number value. So this is the 30 value you have. You are doing 30 plus 10, it will become 40. So you get 40 as the result. So you are returning a new transformed array and you are not changing the original array. Now, if this is the original array, let me remove this updated, which you don't want. So you can see numbers array is as it is not changed. Result is only changed because you are adding 1 to each individual element. So this is the map method. So map method is very useful if you want to do something. So let's say I have users, list of users, name Mike, age 30. Now what I want to do, I want to convert each of these names into uppercase. So what I can do, users.map, I will get individual user. So now this individual user, you can use normal function or arrow function. So here you have, if you have single value, you don't have to add that bracket. If you don't have, if you have multiple values, then only you need to add that bracket. So if you are accessing this, you need to add those brackets. So here you have user, array, index and array. Now what I want to do, I want to convert, I want this array as it is, but just the name should be in uppercase. So what you can do is you have access to that individual array user. So this will be the individual user. So if I print the user, you can see this is the first user, this is second user. So this is array, you are looping through that array using map method. So you will get individual item in that array. So this is the first element of that array. Now what I need to do, I need to return. So when you want a new array, you always return something from map, and that value will be replaced at this particular position, but not in the original array, in the new array. So now what I can do, I can use user. So this is entire user. I want name property. So I can say user.name, and I want to convert it into two uppercase. So if I do this and const result, we have already have result updated. What you will see, you will just see the names in uppercase. You can see you get names in uppercase because you are returning just the name in uppercase. I don't want name in uppercase, I want everything in uppercase. So like name uppercase, but all the properties are also I want. So what you can do is, this is individual, this user is individual object. So to get that as an object, you need to return object only. So this is the object. I can spread out all the properties of object. So if I have salary also, so let's say only first to have salary. So all these will have salary. So when you spread out, it will have all those values, name, age, and salary. And now I want the name to be uppercase. So I will update the name and I will say user dot name dot to uppercase. So now what you are doing, for individual element, you are returning an object which contains all of those properties, and you are spreading out. So that will means it will have all those properties. So it will be exact same as like this. You have all those properties and then you are updating the name. So now you will have all properties and only the name will be uppercase. You can see this is what we want. So name is uppercase, all other values will remain as it is. So you need to remember this user is the object. So individual, when you are using map for each, these are designed for only array. These are not for object. So array, these are array methods. So you can only use on array. So this users is array. So you are using map method and each element is an object. So you will get user, which is an object. And in that object, you want exactly as it is, only the name should be capitalized. So you need to return object. If you are not returning object, if you just return names, then you will have only name. So if I just return this, you will have just names in uppercase. So whatever you return will be returned, but the array length will be exactly same. So original array has 3 elements. Now the transformed new array will also have 3 elements. You can decide what you want to return. So if I want to return how many characters are there in the particular name, so I can say user.name.length. So this is 4 character, this is 5, this is again 4. So if I save, you can see 454. So you decide what you want, but the exact, so final array length will be exact same. 3 elements are in users, you will get 3 elements in the updated array. So if I, so this is also useful if you want some specific property. So let's say I want specific users dot map. I will get individual user. So if you are not using this, you can remove that. So I don't want index array, so I will use this particular user only. So now what I want only names of those particular users. So I can just return user dot name, and I will get specific, which is the actual only names. You can see Mike, Jerry, Alex, which is as it is. So you are not modifying anything. You are returning as it is. So here Mike, let's say these are the, it also has surname. So what I want to do is I want only the surnames. So what I can do, so here I can say const surnames. So map is very useful to get anything from the original array. So you can call it here and you can return. So from the name I want only surname. So what I can do is user dot name will contain this entire name. Then let me write it step by step, so you will understand it better. So it will be split. So I will use split method, string split method, to split them by space. So this is the actual user dot name. It will get this value. Now I want to split by space, this space. So now this split will be an array. So if I print split, you can see split is an array which contains first value and second value. So each individual element has first name and surname. Now I want only the surname. So what I can do is I can return just split of 1. So this is the 0th element. This is the first element. So this split is the actual element. I want only the last element. So if I just print split 1, you can see this is the Jackson Lyndon binary. So this is the actual thing you are returning, and now I can print the surname. You can see this is a new array now. It contains only those surnames. So whatever you want, you can do with map method. So if you want only the name, you can get only name. If I want age, so let's say only age I want. So you can see you get only age 30, 50, 35. So this is the age. These are the ages which we got. So you can do whatever you want. So this is the entire array. If I want just salary, you can just get the salary. If you want to combine this, so if I want to print their name and age, so I can do that also. So const complete names users dot map, you will get individual user, and here you can return template string. So my name is, I will use this user dot name. User dot name will be this, and I also want age, so it will be user dot age. And my age is dollar of user dot age. So from map method, you can return anything. You don't have to return the exact same data type. So even though this is an object, each element you are returning here only string. Here you are returning only numbers. Here also you are returning a string. So when I print this complete names, you can see complete names is an array where each element you are returning as a string. My name is Mike. So let's say original names. If I print here users, so these are the users. You get my name is Mike Jackson and age is 30. So this is Mike Jackson. Second is Jerry and age 50. You get Jerry and age 50. So you always get whatever exact same length array using map method. You don't need to create another array. So in the for each loop previously, what we saw is, let's say this numbers array. If I want to get these numbers, add one to each of the element, what we do numbers dot for each. Let me open that for each. So we created new original one array to store that all those elements, and for each using for each we are pushing it. So we are pushing individual element. So sometimes what happens is people, when developers makes this mistake, so they are using numbers itself, they are using map, and you will get individual number. They do like this, updated equal to array, and they do updated, you have updated array, updated array dot push number. Now they print this updated array. You can see updated array is exact same length. So if I add +1, it will be one digit added to each individual array. But map method is not used for just looping. What you are doing here, you are looping. You are not returning anything. So map method is designed to return something. So this is a wrong approach. So if you want to just push something, you use for each method. Why you are using map method? So if you are using map method, you don't need to create this original array to store those elements. You can directly return the value. You can directly return number +1, and you can print this. Print the name. You can see this array contains one digit added to individual element. So when you are using map, when you return something, you automatically get array. So map method always returns array. So you don't need this way of pushing to the array. If you are using for each, this is fine. You already, because from for each you cannot return. But if you are using map, you don't need this way. So instead of for each, you should not use map, because from map you need to return something. So if you are not returning, this result will be undefined. All the elements will be undefined, which you don't want. You just want to push new array with each individual element. One is added to each individual element. So in that case, instead of for each, use map method.